What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the EA FC Career Mode. It's episode number 106, and today we're returning with the start of Season 12, as my longest ever save continues into our 12th year of the Career Mode save. And to start the new season off, we've got the summer transfer window, where our budget is going to be... Well, I think that has just set the record for the biggest transfer budget I have ever had. What? Where's all the money come from? Well, I can tell you we got 6 million for the sale of one of our squad centre halves. You remember this guy last season we inherited, French 20-year-old defender, submitted a transfer request, and in the end I found out I could still give him a contract with 2 weeks to go before the window would open. He signed it, but I couldn't remove him from the transfer list. I was like, why did you sign a new contract if you still want to leave and don't want to stay? I thought it was ridiculous, but in the end, if nothing else, we cashed in to Stade Rennes for 6 mils. He's gone back to his native home country, but I don't think that's the reason why we've managed to get that absolute unit of a transfer budget, and no doubt about it, surely my biggest of the save thus far. That is absolutely ridiculous, man. So yeah, heading into the new season then, on the back of winning the league and the Europa League double, we technically want to treble the Community Shield. Of course, not going to count on that. Now that Royer has left, well, he's going to leave after 1 day's worth of advance, so just pop him there. You can see this is the squad we got. It's a thin squad, man. 23 or 22 players. Our first 11 is obviously sublime. We've got decisions to make on Cherki and Simons, both in their 30s, both out of contract come the end of the season. But really, we talked about this. The main issue we've got is a lack of quality and depth, and it's perhaps the reason why we only won 2 major honours last year when we really should have gone for at least 3. So yeah, once Royer goes in a day, that'll be a 22-man squad. Giles still not retiring, interestingly enough, but I don't plan to give him a new contract, so hopefully it'll sort of like, we'll force him into retirement, if you will. Sule is, of course, retired, as you'll see. We've also lost Daryl DK through retirement as well. But the decisions, like I said, to be made are on these two guys here. Xavi Simons valued at 92.5 mil, who's amazing for me last year, man. So I don't know whether I'll keep him or not. Cherki, however, I think I've already made my mind up there. He was okay for me last year, don't get me wrong, but I'm adding into the transfer list. I'm letting him go. Xavi, not too sure. Cherki, absolutely, he's gone. But with the money we've got, well, let's be honest here. We already know who the number 1 target's going to be. I might as well pick him up straight away. I did see 1 or 2 comments saying maybe keep him at Milan as a bit of a villain, but since we returned to Luton, the overwhelming majority have been calling for his return. And to be fair, this season makes total sense. On the back of beating them in the Europa League final, he's done all there is to do domestically at Milan, and most crucially, in the final year of his contract as well. Just like Cox last season, if there was ever a time to bring him back, it's definitely right now. We can get in front of the market valuation, no doubt about that. And even though money isn't really much of a problem right now, it's still the perfect time to re-sign him. Ooh, the reason why that deal has kind of stopped me in my tracks is because Simons is a former Milan player, so a return to both clubs for each individual, that does kind of make sense, but to be honest, I'd rather not. I'm trying to figure like the best available deal, you know, and I don't think that will represent good value for money in the current market with long out of contract coming the end of the season. Instead, up it to 110 mil, and that's a much better deal, because if we were hypothetically to sell Simons, we'd get a lot more money than just that fee paid alongside a player of his quality as well. The best fit for the team, the best fit for the save, one of the world's best back at Power Court on a 4-year, 250 grand a week deal. Welcome back to Luton Town, Mr. Gabriel Long. Yeah, since I returned, man, obviously when I asked you guys for the transfer suggestions, I mean, Cox and Long were, of course, understandably the main two, and whilst last season we couldn't afford them both, it was just like with Milan in the first season. We brought back one, But we always knew the other was going to return at some point. In the end, it's the second season on a cut price deal as well. This is a fantastic, fantastic steal. And again, the best fit for the team as well. Knowing this guy on that right-hand side with that left foot can replace Shirky, being several ratings higher and also a few years younger in the prime at 28 years old as well. He took number 11 initially, even though I gave him his blessing to wear number 7 and take Seymour's number. I was like, bro, come on, man, you wear 7 in this save, not 11. So I've given it to him anyway, and Gabriel Long is in and back at Luton Town. So yeah, buzzing with this, and again, 92 overall just makes our side even better. Yet another 90+ rated player arriving. And I've got to be honest here, this is a question I need to ask myself. Is this now the best team I've ever had? Because I'm not going to lie, it is definitely, and I mean definitely, up there. I can't remember having a team with as many United rated players as this in the first 11, and there still might be enough for 1 or 2 more. So that now brings our budget down to a measly £183 million. To be honest here, I don't really know who to go in for next. I mean, our whole first 11 now is 90+, apart from every single member of the back 4, going from Garner to Christensen. So possibly a new superstar defender, but frustratingly, there's not actually that many in the game that are even 90 or even 89 or 88 overall. Right now, the best players in the world appear to be those front men, but also more attacking-based midfielders as well. We could possibly sign this lad from Brighton, well, 2 lads from Brighton here, who finished runners-up last year, including this guy, Rafael Branco, who I believe is the Casemiro regen, and based on these stats here, goodness gracious, as a DM, I mean, he's unbelievable. Could possibly then convert Maldonado to CB, but I don't know if I want to do that, because I like Mario as CDM. That's his best role in my opinion. So actually what I want to do is advance a few days, find out the conclusion of what happens with Shirky on the transfer list right now, and see if we get some bids for the Frenchman, and then we'll assess what we do after that. And there we go, right on cue, straight away, Real Madrid seeing he's available on a cut price deal and coming with a £65.5 million deal. Real Madrid and star-studded French players, man. I mean, we've had a great history of that in the past 20 years. Makelele, Diarra, Benzema, right now, Tchouameni, Camavinga, Mendy, Zinedine Zidane as well. You know, they love their French stars, and Shirky looking to be the next one there at the Bernabeu. To be honest, whilst I'm unsure about Simons, Rayan was okay for us last season, but I always felt as though he was sort of on borrowed time, really. So let's see if we can get a little bit more out of Carlo. I don't think he's going to budge. To be honest, in the end, we'll just take the valuation deal. 65.5 mil, and he's going to be the next French star at the Bernabeu. You know, he might be in his early 30s, but that's actually quite a good deal that for Real Madrid. £65.5 million, one of the better playmakers in world football right now. To be fair, that's actually a really good price for him, but I'll still take the cash as well. So that now raises our budget to £250 million, so back up to an astronomical transfer budget. And there are some bids here for some star players as well, but I don't think any of these are going to happen here. Whilst I'm not against selling 1 or 2 of the squad players, such as Leipzig coming in with a bid for Amos here, which is a loan to buy. Okay, no. And Liverpool putting him in for Cox. Obviously, that deal's definitely not going to come through. Like I said, I'm not against selling a couple of squad players. I just sold Shirky, but I think personally, because of the small squad right now, I would only consider selling them once I've got their replacements. I've talked about this quite a lot. If you're going to sell one of your better players, squad or first 11, you want to make sure you've got a replacement lined up. Because if you don't, and if you're in particular coming towards the end of the transfer window, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble. But for me, I don't think I'm going to sell anyone until I've got this squad up to at least, I'd say, 28, 29 men. However, one thing I am going to do is sign a third choice goalkeeper because, as I said many times before, you don't need one. You know, you can probably get by with one for the entire season. But, you know me, I like to have 3 for the realism. And since I returned, I said there were many players that you guys wanted to see return. And Muric was one of them as well. Fan favourite at Luton Town for the years he spent with us. At first Kenilworth Road and then Power Court. And in the final year of his 2-year contract at RB Leipzig, we can get him on a cut price deal. And as a third choice, even though he's 35, veteran for the young squad, I like that. I'm bringing him back. A 2-year deal which will take him up to retirement on 30 grand a week. Muric is back. I wanted to sign some of the guys you guys requested in the comments, and I know Muric was someone that you guys were hoping would return at some point, as he will until retirement. I quite like it as well. You know, like a lot of big teams do have a senior third choice goalkeeper as a mentor for the squad that can double up as a sort of coaching role, if you will. You know, obviously Man United have Tom Heaton, Man City have got Scott Carson, and Luton Town have got Muric as well. So yeah, I don't know how much he'll play. He is actually a rating higher than our current backup Connor, but to be honest, he's going to be downgraded pretty quickly. I'm just going to have him as a squad goalkeeper, if you will. So probably won't play at all. But again, he's our Scott Carson here at Luton. Funnily enough, we are getting those bids for our squad players as well. West Ham now putting in a bid for Amos, but this time it's a transfer fee, and Werder Bremen coming in for our backup goalkeeper. But even though we just signed Muric, I'm still going to keep Connor, of course. I have to say, because our squad still remains quite slim, like I mentioned a moment ago, I don't think we should really sell anyone unless we do fill it out quite nicely. Again, we do have a couple of seniors here as well. Ballard is going down, Giles is going down. Obviously, we know Muric is going to go down, even though he's just did for the squad. I'm definitely thinking our next signing should be someone for the back line here. No doubt about it. Even though he had the best defensive record in the division last season, I still feel as that right now, based on rating alone, would be considered our weakest area. And because that's where our older players are as well, in the 30s, they're all in the back line or between the sticks, other than Xavi Simons. I would say next up is a new defender here. We've got the cash. Again, the problem is there's just not really that many options that could be a step up on our current back line. We do have a monster bid for our right back, Christensen from Valencia, but I'm going to turn that down because right now he's the highest right back rated in the game at 89 and in the prime at 28. So again, we couldn't find someone to replace him. This kind of feels like when I'm doing a club and country, you know, when it's like the players are worth more to me because there's no one I could get to replace them realistically. Like when I'm doing a CNC, it's like when I've got the highest rated player from that nation, they're basically priceless. Like I literally couldn't sell them because there's no one I could get that could replace them. So it really is feeling a bit like a club and country right now. Same with Ghana as well, as we see that Morris is almost back from his injury, and that's the last player that's still down after last year's catalogue of injuries we had. Stuttgart putting in a bid for the fullback, but again, there's not really, we might be able to find someone that's about the same, but not really any better. And with him being English and a 5-star weak foot dual-sided, to me, again, he's basically priceless, man. Absolutely priceless. And whilst our former team do want to take Ballard to San Sebastian for the final years of his deal, he is going down, but I am going to keep him as a squad centre-half. I'm going to look for a new first-choice centre-half, but I still want this guy as the mentor for the youngsters. I'm keeping it. I just don't want to sell any of my team, man. The squad is too small for that. And just we're about to dive into the first game of two. Going to play this and the Super Cup. Just had a conclusion of World Cup 2034. My goodness. Saudi Arabia hosts this one, of course, and run from it, dread it. France always arrive. Yep, France winners of the World Cup final in 2034. But yeah, going to play the first of the two games, both the pre-season friendlies if you lose, but trophies if you win. Community Shield and Super Cup, and the former coming first against Manchester City, who dumped out of both the Carabao Cup and FA Cup on their way to winning both last season. Come on, you Hatters. Yep, we'll have that. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'll win that, mate. Oh, it's wonderful! Absolutely wonderful! What a welcome return! That is a dream second debut. What a start, but what a goal as well. To be honest here, I thought I completely cocked that one up because once I flicked the ball over the top, I should have just shot it. Or at least it seemed to be the chest. How many chest first touches do you see go over a covering defender? That's one of the first and only you'll see with the offload. Finds Gabe, and welcome back Mr. Long. Assisted by his bro. That is who cares if it's the Community Shield? That's a dream return. Yeah, I mean, this game may not have the weight of like a title battle towards the end of the season, obviously, but that is an amazing goal, that. And what a return. And this is why we've re-signed him. Just couldn't get away there for a second. And cleared away. Still leading by one. Even though I'm more focused on that Super Cup in the week. If we could start off by winning the first 2 competitive games of the season. That's what these are, competitive games. That's a great way to lay down your intentions. And this could be 2, and it should be 2. And the boys have linked up again. Cox and Long, Long and Cox. Absolute dream return. Oh man, that is tough, that. Taking the boys off at the break, knowing that this seems all but done, but Ballard, who was going to lift it, has now just taken a tumble. And on the first game of the season, we got an injury. Last year we were injury hit practically throughout the entire year. So this is not the style you're hoping for this season either. That's a tough one, that. But again, it showcases the need for a fixed squad when you're going for multiple honours. I'm not going to say that's the reason Man City knocked us out of the Cups last season, both in the League Cup final and the FA Cup quarter, I think it was. But it certainly played a part, missing a couple of key players, including Pavel, for both of them. So we do want to sign some new defenders now with Ballard going down, and that looking like at least, I would say, at least a 4-week injury. That's definitely forcing my hand to make another signing early, I think. Well, won it last season, win it again. It's not the biggest and most coveted of trophies, to say the very least, but we will take it. Community Shield is ours again, as we'll go for the clean sweep of all 6 honours available to us this year. I've never done that before. I don't think I'll be able to do it this year either as well, but you never know. As a real brief tip here, by the way, as well, if you do have your captain go down during a game, what you might notice is that the armband will automatically be taken off him, but you can get it back to him if you then act as if you're going to sub off the man who's just taken the armband, and then bring him back on again. So for this example here, like Ballard was going to lose the armband due to the minor knock he suffered. It was going to go to Kaczmarek, the keeper, but instead I just swapped him on Banks. That gave the armband back to Ballard, and then just put Banks back on the bench and Kaczmarek back in. So if you're like me and you like the captain to lift the trophy, the one you set or the one you want, then try and swap your players around on and off the bench without actually making the substitution itself, and you might be able to get it back to the man you actually intend to have as the captain. So yeah, not the most coveted of honours, but it's a winning start. And like I said, glorified friendly when you lose, trophy when you win. Same with the Super Cup in the week. Let's play that next. Before we get there though, how bad was the injury for Ballard? Oh, okay, just a bruise in the end. So he'll miss the game on Wednesday night, the Super Cup, but he'll be back for the season opener. Another bid for Lars, but again, I said before, like the bid is good for a player who, you know, we get a lot of money for, but again, because there's no one else that's as good as him in that position, it's like he's now effectively priceless to me. Do you know what I mean? He's now practically indispensable. You know, couldn't lose him because there's no one I could bring in to replace him to be just as good. So yeah, let's play the final game today then, second and final game, the Super Cup. And again, it's amazing that 12 seasons in, this is my first time playing it, but buzzing to give it a go. And whilst it's probably got a little bit more weight to it than the Community Shield itself, it is still one of those honours where it's not the one you look back on at the end of your career and say, that's the biggest highlight of my entire career. Even so, I'd like to win it and keep the dream of a Super 6 alive, but I think that's probably just a bigger pipe dream than me wanting to get married by the age of 32. Even so, following the final game, Frankfurt in the Super Cup, going for my first ever of the save. Yeah, I said the Super Cup probably has a bit more importance placed upon it than the Charity Shield, but it's still, to me, it's still one of those honours which, like, you know, coming the end of the season, or coming the end of a player's career in particular, you look at it and say, well, it didn't really have that much meaning to it, surely. But it's it is still by definition a competitive game, and so if that's the case, do you want to win it? Oh, Nana! Thought he lost the flight of the ball there, pushed it behind for a corner, and it's still 0-0. And again, the Super 6. Oh, the Super 6. You know, all 6 honours available. Go on, man, have another dig. Listen, I don't know if there'll ever come a time where I really believe I could do that, but considering the team we've got, I would say it's possibly the highest rated I've ever had. Never more 90 rated players than this in the team. You know, I often use this saying, if not now, then when? It's definitely a possibility, you know. Here we go, Cox. Nice ball. Gonna play another one. Simons. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful ball by Cox, but it's going to be disallowed. Simons must have been just offside when it was Fred in there. as we're still tied at 0-0. Been the better team, but if it goes to Laurie in a shootout, whilst at the moment I've got a decent record on pens in this save, I'm not too sure about that, and especially now we've got 3 days until the season opening in the league. I'd rather not have to play all 2 hours worth of football available. Just completely on top here. Surely that opening goal's coming. Gabe. Cox. Oh, ball! Finish! Haven't missed a step. Haven't missed a step. Long Cox duo on full display. Look at this, man. Absolutely brilliant combination between the pair. That absolutely brilliant. It's almost like they just fit each other. Long and Cox complementing one another perfectly in the first 2 games since returning to Luton Town. This whole season is going to feel like we're globetrotters out there, man, playing the All-Star game. Like, seriously. Wonderful, wonderful little goal in front. And to be honest, I'm surprised it took this long to take the lead. No pun intended, because right now we're just absolutely dominating out there. And I wouldn't be surprised if a second goal's on the cards as well. Oh, no. No. Catch McCarthy come. Oh, it's a wonderful finish. That is an absolute throwaway. I always say it, if I've made a mistake, you're going to see it. I'm not just going to brush it under the rug, man. That's not me. But that is so frustrating. In complete control. And then just absolutely threw it away. But to be fair... Hold on. Nice ball out wide. Work it in. Oh, he's going to do it again. No, shot block, gets it back. Turns and finishes. 6 minutes of added time. How many times has this happened to me? It's about bloody time I get it in my favour. The amount of goals I've conceded into a ridiculously long period of added time that should have ended ages ago. It's about time one goes in my favour. Long with the turn, beats the skipper, finesses past Onana and wins the Super Cup with the brace. Gabriel Long, welcome back to Luton Town. Do you know what I'm going to call him? Best player in world football. Absolutely. And I say we've got him back at Power Court. Unbelievable conclusion to the game, man. But it's about time one falls in my favour. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to be bold. 2 down, 4 to go. On the hunt for the Super 6. Oh my goodness, what a dramatic start to Season 12 and proof in the pudding whilst there that even after all these years, this has still been one of my greatest saves ever as it continues to stay so dramatic with still so much more to do. What a dream return for Gabriel Long as Luton win both the Community Shield and the Super Cup, and I'm going to say it. Why can't we go for all 6? The clean sweep. The Carabao, the FA Cup, the Premier League and that Champions League as well. I've never had a better team. I've never had a higher rated team. This is surely the season where we have the best possible chance. But that'll do it for today's episode, guys. So big thank you for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed the dramatic season open. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and don't forget to comment down below. You've seen my full shortlist by now, but I'll show it once again. With the money we still got in the budget, just under $250 million remaining, what players should we look to bring in to give us the best possible chance of going for the clean sweep? Something I've never done before. Let me know in the comment section down below any transfer targets, as you'll see my full shortlist here. Goodness gracious, what a start to season 12. Have a great day, much love, and I'll see you for the next episode of the EA FC career with, again, just under $250 million still to spend with 3 weeks to go before the window slams shut very soon. Welcome back, Mr. Long. That was incredible.